Okay, hello. So this morning I was looking on Facebook and HBO had released a new Game of Thrones trailer and I was like, I love Game of Thrones, huge fan, super excited for season 7, can't wait for it to come out. Basically, there's a new trailer for season 7 and I thought something that would be kind of fun would be to check it out, dissect it, and then we'll be able to know the season, huh? What fun. The trailer starts out with HBO, is made by HBO. First thing that it does is it opens up with the Light of the Seven theme. Mwah, beautiful theme. Opens up with Sansa. Now, I think that Sansa will be kind of a big part at the beginning of season 7. Her and Jon, I think, are going to be a bit contentious as to, you know, because she lied to him about being friends with Littlefinger, and now she's in with Littlefinger, so there's going to be a bit of drama there, I think. But
don't frighten the North.
okay.
Or the South.
So, Littlefinger's trying to get to Sansa, alright? He's trying to like, come over to my side, girl. I don't think Sansa's having any of it. She seems to me to be more loyal to Jon than to Littlefinger, but I mean, we'll find out. But I don't think she's going to dog out Jon that easy. I don't think so. So Littlefinger's essentially saying to Sansa, look, buddy, don't take anybody's word for anything. Just be your own lady like me. Now, Littlefinger's a corrupt young old boy, and Sansa doesn't need to listen to that. She needs a positive figure in her life who can be a good influence, like Jon. The wall was opening. What's going to happen? I think Jon has to go north of the wall, and I'll explain why later. You know what that was? Just there. That's Bran coming home. Bran's reached the wall. He's gotten down, and he's going to say, hi, Johnny boy. What's up? I'm back. Jon goes north of the wall. He is going to have to fight the White Walkers. I'll sort of explain that whole what I think about that when it comes to it. These are Cersei's, you know, people, or what's left of the people in King's Landing. There we have Cersei. Look at all Cersei. Here we have Daenerys. But where she is kind of interesting. She's at the place that Stannis was at when he was kind of planning to take over the Seven Kingdoms. So she's at Dragonstone, which makes sense because she has dragons and they want to go to the place where their stone is. This is interesting. This is where a theory of mine comes in. I think this little boat of people arriving, that's some people from the north, I think. I think Jon's going to be there with Davos, and they're going to make a deal with Daenerys, and they're going to try and coexist with each other, right? Jon's going to say to Daenerys, yo, you go down south, kill Cersei, and just sort all that stuff out there. I'll go up north, sort out the White Walkers, and then we come back, you know, regroup, and negotiate this, nut it out, okay? Sort some deal out. I'll lead the north, you lead the south maybe. That's what's going to happen between Daenerys and Jon. Arya's hanging around. What's going to happen to her this season? I don't know. I want her to meet Jon and be all happy again, but anything can happen. We have Jaime. He's in a bit of a, you know, Dems is fighting walks, alright? He's ready to fight. He, I reckon, is like, oh dear, Daenerys is coming. We got to get ready for a fight. Here we have Littlefinger being all sneaky, hiding behind walls and whatnot. He's probably just watching Sansa, planning to snake her out or something, I don't know. Ooh. So here we have Daenerys walking on the beach of Dragonstone.
For centuries our families fought together against their common enemy.
Now when Jon says that, where for centuries our families fought together, I just think he's talking about the north. I think he's just trying to get the north rallied. I don't think there's anything really important about that. There we have the dragons just flying around. Tyrion looking all sad. I think this will be Tyrion outside King's Landing looking kind of like, oh man, like, she really sucks, but she is my sister. I think that's Theon. I imagine there's going to be a big night fight with boats and dragons and King's Landing and Daenerys fighting each other, and they're going to attack at night, and I think that was Theon during the night fight where there's like fire everywhere and boats and all this. Now I have a feeling this bit with Grey Worm, he's trying to sneak and ambush King's Landing, because that right there, that little cave, I think is going to be a secret passage to King's Landing, but who knows? Brienne and her little buddy, her squire, Podrick, that's his name. They're just rocking up. I think they're just going to keep helping Jon. Probably shouldn't have stopped the video. Don't know why I felt the need to mention it. The Hound. I reckon he's going to help Jon because I think Arya's going to meet up with Jon. The Hound's going to find out Jon and Arya together. We already see later in the trailer that Merrick Dondarrion has the fire sword in the north, so the Brotherhood is probably fighting with, you know, Jon Snow's army against the north. So I reckon the Hound will be like, oh, hey Arya, you need my help? We've had some history, I'll help you out. Daenerys soldier, one of the Unsullied, poor guy. I think there's going to be two big fights between King's Landing and Daenerys, right? One on the boats and then one on land. This is Lannisters because Jaime and Bronn are in the back. They're either... This is probably the beginning of the ground fight. They're just saying like, loose, draw, like bloody the bastard said last time.
Draw!
There are all these ravens flying. I don't know why they're all flying together. Could be for whatever reason. But if you look at the background, there's like soldiers. So they're obviously flying over this guy, the Night King's big army. The Night King's obviously preparing a fight with the North, like with Jon's camp. Bran, who at the beginning of the trailer arrived back at Castle Black. He's grouped with Jon, and then Jon's been like, yo, you need to go north, help us out, fight the Night King. So then Bran walked into a bird. Night King goes, I see you, bird. And Bran's like, ugh. And then Bran will be like, yo, they got a huge army. Couple of questions with Bran. First of all, who's this guy? Who's this old guy standing there? What's he doing? The guy died from last season. I can't remember his name. The guy that Bran spent all of last season with. He died. There's no maesters left, as far as we can tell. So who is this guy? I don't know. Could it be someone important? Maybe. Could it be someone useless? Also, maybe. Second of all, where and how did Bran get a wheelchair? They don't have wheelchairs in Game of Thrones times. What is this? This isn't... What? Come on. Bran doesn't just get a wheelchair. This is... I don't know. That takes me out of it a bit. A wheelchair. What? I don't even know. Okay, now this is cool. Merrick Dondarrion's got his, like, that better be his name, because if his name's not Merrick Dondarrion, I'm going to be embarrassed. But he's got his fire sword, which makes sense. He's a soldier of the Lord of Light. His sword can go on fire. It makes sense. It's cool because it fits into the Game of Thrones magic, whatever. So all of Daenerys' ships, huge fleet, going to King's Landing. This is where the boat battle happens. But I'm a bit confused because I'm like, this is during the day, so when do that... You never know. There's Unsullied hanging out, fighting against presumably King's Landing peeps. So that was Daenerys at what I think is Dragonstone. Before the fight, she's waiting for Jon to arrive, which is what I said. You know, I think him and a few people arrive on the beach of Dragonstone. They have a chat, nut out some sort of negotiation. I think she's waiting for that. She's like, ooh, it's going to be nervous to make a negotiation with other people because I'm not used to cooperate. Jaime running in what I imagine is the very end of the ground fight. I imagine this because there's fire everywhere. He's pretty angry, so he's probably lost a lot of men. That was one of the boats exploding in the boat fight, probably. This is Tormund in what I presume is the fight that happens north of the wall. Jon goes and fights north of the wall because he's like, we gotta sort out this Night King army guy, and obviously Tormund comes with. Rhaegon and the Dothraki fighting in what I presume is the ground battle that happens against where Jaime ends up being like, rah! Yara and Theon during the ground battle just be like, wah. Although that makes things tricky because Theon seemed earlier to be all up in the boat battle, so maybe I'm wrong. Here we have part of fire on the boat battle. But here's my question. If the dragons can spit fire and they'd be fighting the King's Landing, who put the fire on the boat? Maybe King's Landing, but I don't know. King's Landing soldiers preparing to fight in the ground battle. Here we have, I think, what is going to be the resolution of the fight against the White Walkers. Jon's up there. He's like, oh boy, this was a hard fight. I don't think they're going to win, but I think they're going to do kind of what happened at the end of A Hard Home, like isolate the Night King's army for a little bit. Him being up on this rock that's a bit higher than them, so he's like, we got the higher ground. Anakin, Sunday and Grey Worm getting a bit of a relationship. That's cute. I hope that something happens there. It'd be nice to have a bit of young, naive love on the show. More of Tyrion being distressed about having to fight his family and doing things that he once would not have. Here we have the Hound fighting more for Jon, although he looks to be in King's Landing, so maybe he goes to King's Landing first and does this, and then comes to join Jon's side, but anything could happen, as I keep saying. That's Davos and Jon. What I think that's them at Dragonstone, and that's why I think Jon and Daenerys have a meeting. I want it to happen. I want them to form an alliance. They might not. They might hate each other. We don't know. It's a matter of time. There we have one of the White Walkers fighting, which is the north of the wall fight with Jon and whatnot. Just have some cats running away from a big ground battle. The boat scene, as I said, when they have a meeting, or what I think. And see, this guy here is interesting. That could be Gendry, or Gendry. Can't remember how you say his name. The guy who is Robert Baratheon's son, who technically has a claim to the throne. Maybe, because remember Davos helped him go away, and now Davos is working for Jon. Maybe Davos brings him to Daenerys at Dragonstone and is like, yo, you can use him to take over King's Landing. We'll see how it goes. I also say that because Gendry was seen on a set photo or something. I don't know. Here's a fight from the boat. Oh, we got some dragon, some dental dragon. Look at those. This dragon's been brushing his teeth. Look at that boy, This makes me scared because this reminds me of that top-down dead spiral. So I think these cats are gonna die.
The lone wolf dies, but the pack survives.
What I think Sansa's talking about there is I don't think she's talking about Jon dying or anything. I think she's just saying, yo, if you fight on your own, you die. If we go alone, we'll die. The lone wolf dies, but the pack survives. So if we join together, then we will survive. I think she's using the wolf thing because she's a Stark and Starks love their wolves. I don't think she's referencing any particular Stark, Arya, or Jon, whatever. And then you have Jon slicing up a White Walker, and that's the trailer being like, look, we know you think she's talking about Jon, but look, he's slicing up bad guys. He'll be fine. Jon will be fine. He's a good fighter. And there's fire. This is in the Night Walker, or in the Night's King White Walker fight that happens north of the wall. And he's like, there's probably going to be another badass scene like in Battle of the Bastards or something. I just can only hope. And it just says winter is here, and it's like, duh, of course winter's here. You can see it in the trailer. This is my breakdown of Game of Thrones Season 7 Trailer 2. I had a lot of fun looking at that because I like Game of Thrones and I'm excited. Let me know if you agree or disagree with what I think might happen next season. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this breakdown. I hope it was okay. Let's all get ready to see for Game of Thrones together.